Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Ready to Love Season 6, Episode 10. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. Now let's get into it if we gonna get into it. But before we get into it, my prayers are with Tommy. I know that there were some things happening with him health-wise. He had a surgery. It appears that all of the cancer has been removed. So Tommy, as much as I like to poke fun at you and that voice, I need you for this Ready to Love. So I am so happy that Tommy is on the mend and we're praying for you, Tommy. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. So when the episode first opens up, Brandy has stepped up to either eliminate Samson or Swayze, right? One of the S's. So Tommy steps in. He's like, oh, Brandy, step over to the side. I got this. So he tells them how important the 48 hours are. And if you're not here, then that means that you're not really in it. So he's making the final decision that LJ just isn't ready to love. Because if you don't show up, then you won't find love and it won't come looking for you. Now, I think that was best. Okay, maybe that's just me. Not for the attendance of it all, but because LJ is still messing with that ex and he is not fooling me. Okay, the way that lady sat there and said she was still in love with LJ, and then he had enough nerve to say, well, I mean, never say never. Well, you're eliminated. And that's just point blank in the period. But my thing is, what was the whole point in the ladies deliberating? Child, this season all over the place, child. Let's get on my nerves. Anywho, Trinika was very upset that LJ was sent home, but honey, you can talk to him afterwards if he ain't with that ex, like I said. And I feel like you need to use your discernment because none of these men are it. None of them. Moving forward. So Tommy returns to let the men know that they are in charge of eliminations and the women need to step it up. They already stepping it up. They're fiending and fighting and clawing each other's eyes out and each other's wigs off to get these little old nothing men. So I don't know what you're talking about. The only one that's been sitting pretty and coasting is Katie. And child, people didn't want her to last. But baby, Katie got her man, honey, over there drinking mimosas, slapping five, and he like her, child. So there's that. So they're going to play the dating game. Not the newlywed game, honey, but the dating game. The winning couple will go on an exclusive date alone. Now, mind y'all, Tommy is describing this date as the moon and the stars above. You're going to get a helicopter ride down to the bay. It's going to be a band playing when you first step off the limo. Like he giving... He is really putting 20 on 10, honey. He is giving that description all the zhuzh that he can give it. So they're getting ready to play the game. So in the confessional, Jamala was like, I just feel like I know Randall pretty well. Well, child, we're going to see how well you know Rah-Rah. So they started with Kayla. Kayla chooses Mike. When I tell y'all I rolled my eyes so hard, why did you choose him? Why? Why do you keep subjecting yourself to Mike? He only likes you in secret, girl. He doesn't like you out loud. So Brandy also chooses Mike. Jamala chooses Randall, of course. Charisse chooses Samson, honey, by default. Trinika chose Randall, and again, by default. And Katie chose Swayze. But y'all, side note, the fact that Kayla is sitting in between Mike and Brandy while Brandy rubs his arms and his shoulders, baby, these people are nuts. This is crazy. This is crazy to me. So he starts to ask the questions, right? The first question was for Swayze. What does Swayze want more, a big family or a big bank account? He chose family. Katie said big bank account. They got it wrong, so they're eliminated. You're out. Then the question was, what does Randall like the most, romance or Netflix and chill? Jamala said Netflix and chill. Now, he seems like a Netflix and chill type of guy to me. Okay. Now, I know he shed that tear and whatnot when Trinika was saying what she was saying. But for me, he seems like a Netflix and chill kind of guy. So I don't blame her for choosing that. But she got it wrong, so Jamala is out. So then he asked Trinika, how many serious relationships has Randall had? She said 3 or more. She got it right. So now the game is underway. Everybody's being asked questions, honey. The cameraman is panning from here, there, and everywhere. So it's down to Trinika and Randall and Mike and Kayla. So Kayla in the confessional, she was like, yeah, Brandy getting upset because she sees our connection is really real. Girl, real for who? that connection is about as real as that wig you're wearing. It ain't real. It ain't growing from the scalp. Girl in that relationship ain't growing either. Moving forward. So now it's time for a runoff. So the question is Randall a breast or thigh man? So Trinika was like, he like these. And you know, Trinika, she ain't gonna put on no bra child. Some things bounce. He like these. He like these. So she said breast and she got it right. So now it's on to Kayla and Mike. What is Mike's sign? She said Pisces. What is Randall's favorite drink? An old fashioned. Where did Mike attend school? She gave some, she said UM. Mike ain't went no college, honey. I can look at Mike and tell you he ain't went to no college, child. He ain't went nowhere. And if y'all are having conversations, then you would have known that. So the winner of the game is Trinika and Randall. Child, of course, Jamala wasn't happy about that. She's like, I don't really want to split my time. I wish they hurry up with this retreat. I wish they hurry it on up, honey, because Jamala is really getting on my nerves. I just feel like the whole retreat got on my nerves. Everything about it just got on my nerves. So Randall was like, I'm really excited about going on this one-on-one date with Trinika, but I'm a little bit worried about what Jamala is going to say. For what? If you're feeling Trinika and she's one of your connections, then why are you worried about what Jamala gonna say? Because you don't like nobody but her. And you wasting everybody else's time so you and your shorts can make it to the end and you ain't fooling me. And I'm sick of seeing your knees. Moving forward. So in Kayla's confessional, she's like, I'm pissed they got a date because Trinika and Randall are the least connected in the house. Sis, so are you and Mike. He sees you as a toy. He's not even serious enough to say it out loud. How many times do I have to say that? In the next scene, Trinika and Randall go for their one-on-one date. And child, all those promises Tommy made were definitely a lie. And child, not a romantic date in sight. I mean, they did take a romantic trip to the courtyard, but honey, other than that, I'm like, not this trip to the backyard, child. Moving forward. So they have this set up and Trinika's like, were you shocked that I was getting the questions right? And he was like, no. And she's like, so you wanted to win with me? He was like, yeah, why not? I don't like the answer, yeah, why not? It seems like, I mean, you were there and you were answering. So, we're here. I don't like that answer. And I don't feel like y'all have any chemistry whatsoever. So then the lady told them that they were about to gaze into each other's eyes. So Trinika was like, yeah, it was easy for me to gaze into his eyes, but I could see him losing focus. So then she starts rubbing his feet. Oh, no, ma'am, honey, I'm not touching no feet. I don't like no feet. Girl, why are you touching his feet? Child, I wish I would. Randall is not the right match for Trinika. Trinika, if y'all are gazing into each other's eyes, it should be very easy for him to look you in your face, honey. We see each other. If you saw that he was losing focus, it's because he probably was thinking about Jamala. And that's just the real. So they pan over to the kitchen. All of the other singles, they're cooking. They're having a good time. So Brandy is like, yeah, everybody's having a good time with their strongest connections, but Kayla is kind of like off to the side because she has several connections, but none of them have put her first and put her as their top. Well, that is true, but you need to keep your good eye on Mike, honey, because as much as he says you're at the top, he can't be trusted, okay? He cannot be trusted at all. So Kayla is upset because neither Mike or Randall checked in to see how she was feeling, even though she was visibly upset. You know why? Because they don't give up. Damn. They don't care. They don't care. Randall and Trinika rejoined the group. And so, they're asking about their date and Jamala is trying not to lose it, honey. Kayla, these men have made their decisions, honey. At this point, you are just stacking their numbers. Like, stop complaining about it because you keep subjecting yourself to Mike. So if you're going to keep on doing it, then I don't want to hear nothing about it. It's the next morning and Charisse and Samson are in the kitchen being awkward as usual. And so Charisse tells him, that she was nervous when he was up there. So he said, I think I know why I was up there. And she was like, why? He said, because without patience, people who you're into think you're not into them. I guess he feels like this was all Brandy. Sir, you don't have any other connection outside of Charisse. It was not all Brandy. She was like, normally I can tell when a person is into me, and I'm not sure he is. He's not. Samson gravitated to Charisse because she is the closest to the aesthetic that he would normally date outside of this house. Let's just be real. Brandy was never on his radar. I don't know what made him go over there with Brandy, but he was never on her radar. Y'all know he couldn't wait to say he dated a Colombian, honey, and I ain't gonna never forget that. These two are just wasting time, child. Samson wasting your time, and that's just that on that. Moving forward. So in the next scene, Randall goes out to speak to Jamala to let her know that they still good. Okay? So they're talking. He's like, I'm here. She's like, but who are you here for? He's like, I'm here for you. I honestly still don't get it, but if it's a choice between these men, then I guess Randall will have to do, child. I feel like Randall tells them all the same thing. That's what I feel like, because it's like he says something and then he goes and does the actual opposite. So she was like, well, I mean, I feel like you need to say that because you have 3 strong connections. She was like, how do they know that, you're here for me? He's like, do they know what? She's like, that you're here for me. He said, I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter because you're keeping them as backup. See, he just wants them around so he can last. He's like, well, do they care is the question. I'm sure they care whether or not they're your top priority, whether or not they're getting closer to being in a relationship with you. That's the premise of the show. I am pretty sure that they care. So we see everybody packing up because it's time to leave. Brandy and Mike are packing up. She tells him they have to do it again, but they have to do it with just them. Brandy, keep your eyes open, honey, because Mike gives me not serious about you vibes. Keep your eyes open, child. So Kayla is pissed because she's like, this didn't go anything like I thought it was going to go. None of these men checked on me. None of these men care about me. I'm ready to go. So Trinika was like, well, I'm just going to have to see after we get back how things are with Randall. Kayla was like, well, I just feel like I wasted my time on this getaway. So we see them like putting all the ladies in the car, right? Randall kisses Jamala. She's off to the races, honey. He walked right on past Kayla. Mike goes over there and kisses Brandy. She's gone. So then Mike comes over to Kayla after Brandy was gone and tells her that he knows how she feels. He's like, yeah, I apologize. I don't want to lose you. I want to work on our connection. And Kayla was like, it's just unfortunate he had to wait for Brandy to leave to do that. Oh, okay, honey. That move right there shows me that he's a cheater. He's a cheater. That gives me cheater vibes, honey. That gives me, as soon as I leave for work, somebody else gonna be in my bed. As soon as you mad at me, you gonna be texting other women. No, honey. She's like, I mean, I feel like it's so weak. But I mean, is it real? No. Hell no, to be exact. She's like, but I want to find out. Kayla, it's giving low self-esteem, honey. It's giving low self-esteem. In the next scene, Charisse is at her business and Samson is coming to get a facial. Baby, Charisse promoting that business on the slick and she ain't fooling me. She ain't fooling me. So Samson arrives for his facial. And so he's laying down on the table getting the facial of it all. Starts talking about his emotions, the last time he cried. So after the facial, they start talking, right? So Charisse is telling Samson that she wants him to open up more. He's like, you still have some reservations? She was like, no, I mean, I just want you to talk to me more. I feel like everything's surface level. He's like, so you're still questioning me after all of my actions and my words. What actions and words? The actions of buying her the same gifts, you bought all of them, or your words about corn? I ain't heard you say nothing of substance since we've been introduced to you. You're giving used car salesman tease all over this season. Something about him just don't sit right in my spirit. Samson, sir, knock it off. She's like, I mean, it's just a conversation. It's, we're in the process. So baby, he gets real defensive, right? And she's trying to talk to him about it, but he's like, so what do you have planned for today? Oh yeah, he's definitely hiding something. And really and truly, I don't feel like either of them really want the other. I think they both just want to make it to the end. So she's like, I want to talk about you. He's like, well, I mean, we have to do a little bit of what you like and a little bit of what I like. Samson, having a conversation about getting to know you, that's normal. It's not like y'all are choosing what restaurant to eat at. Honey, what are you talking about? Samson is full of it. He's like, when you go to a spa, it's to relax, but I'm not relaxed anymore. And here comes Hurricane Charisse coming in asking questions that she already knows the answers to. She did not come in like a hurricane. And clearly, you didn't answer the questions because she seems in the dark. He seems like a guy that is of a particular age. He's stuck in his ways. And when you get in a relationship with him, he ain't answering no questions. He's not going to check in. He ain't going to tell you where he going, how he going, what he doing. It ain't none of your business. Sit back, be pretty, and be in a relationship. No, Samson, you got to go, honey. Moving forward. In the next scene, Randall and Kayla, they meet up. So they're talking about the retreat, honey. Of course, Kayla is getting her eat on. Kayla gonna eat, honey. That's one thing I like about Kayla, honey. Kayla said, listen, we in the scene, but I'm gonna eat. They love to meet up with her after they've spent time with their real connection. So Randall tells her basically what he told Jamala. The house was chaotic and, I know that couldn't have felt good. So he asked her what she's feeling after the house. And she was like, I feel like it was eye-opening. None of you checked on me and, I'm just seeing it for what it is. He's like, I want to give you answers, but I don't have them to give to you. That's an answer in itself. You don't want to be with her. You don't want to make it to the end with her. You want to be with Jamala. At this point, this man knows he wants Jamala and her olive juice candle, so he should just say that. Kayla, none of these men are taking you seriously, honey. Just go ahead and self-eliminate. I wouldn't even be bothered with this. I really would not. So he was like, I don't want to BS you, but I want to sit down with my counsel. Boy, gone. In the next scene, the men meet up at the gentleman's lounge. Randall in his wrinkled Hanes Her Way t-shirt and his shorts, they arrive. Hey, sir. Baby, Randall ain't gonna put them clothes on him right to save his life. So then Tommy arrives, and so Tommy is asking about the trip. So Mike tells him that he and Brandy had a great time. He got to see how she was, waking up to her. And she had a lot of qualities that made him say that he would like to do that again. So Samson gives some BS about he and Charisse's connection getting stronger, but him not liking how she says things. I don't think she came at him in a rude way. I do not. I just feel like he's deflecting because he doesn't want to answer the questions that she asked him. Why? Because I feel like he's not serious about Charisse. He's full of hot air. It's giving hot air balloon. That's what it's giving me. So Tommy goes over to Randall and he said, the first 24 hours they were crazy. He said that both Kayla and Jamala have strong personalities, so some of their insecurities were starting to show. So then Tommy asked if he has a deeper connection with Trinika than the other two. And of course he answered, but this is my thing. I feel like Trinika is intentional, and that's why he has a more deeper connection with her versus surface level, because I feel like the other two women are just worried about each other and winning. If we really want to be real, that's what they worried about. So then Tommy asks who's not ready to love. Randall said Charisse and Brandy. Samson said Trinika and Kayla. Mike said Trinika. Swayze said Kayla and Trinika. So it's time for the eliminate. Mike goes for a date with Kayla. So Kayla shows up to Mike and his BS. And so he's asking her how the trip was for her. And she was like, it was miserable. He's like, why was it miserable? Now, you know good and well. You know good and dang on well why that trip was miserable. She was like, well, everybody was kind of like booed up. So he goes, well, if LJ were there, it would have been different, right? No, it wouldn't have. It would not have been different, and you know that. Over with Trinika and Randall, they go for their date. I'm happy the dates don't seem so obvious this time because these are people they've actually dated. Because in the past, I feel like they just gave them this random wild card date, and then it's like, who am I showing up to meet? Like, what is happening? So Trinika was like, I have a really bad vibe about going into this date. I have a really bad feeling. Try, y'all know she hate these eliminates, honey. She getting ready to turn up, okay? She hate these dates. Back with Mike and Kayla, of course their meals come out, and she's telling him that she's been herself the whole time. She don't really just be opening up to people, but she felt comfortable with the men in the house. He's like, well, did you get closer to anybody in the house? She's like, now you know you my strongest connection. He gonna say, I wasn't aware. Girl, get up and go. Mike is playing in your face. Get up and go. She's like, well, I chose you to do the game. Why do you think I chose you? Kayla, as your YouTube big sis, okay? I know you didn't appoint me your big sister, but honey, let me give it to you straight, no chase, okay? Because now I've adopted you, okay? This man ain't dumb. He ain't stupid. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's trying to get you to choose Randall so that he can get off scot-free. He wants you to say, well, my strongest connection is Randall, or yeah, LJ would have been great if he were there because I kind of connected with him. He is not interested. He knows you were his strongest connection when he got up playing Romeo and Juliet, when y'all had that one big old powwow. He's not dumb. He's just plain dumb because you are not his strongest connection. So he was like, well, if you really want to be real, let me give you my answer. I feel like you chose me because Randall has 2 other connections and you didn't want to compete. Now, even I know Kayla don't mind competing. Mike is a whole jerk. He is a jerk, honey. He's giving moron. Okay, that's what he's giving to me. It's giving little weirdo. She's like, but you didn't even check on me. Girl, he don't care. Back with Randall. He's trying to tell Trinika something, honey. He starts by saying, me and the men, we met and none of the men had anything bad to say. She's like, nope, I don't want to hear it. and basically don't touch me. Not Trinika. Not Trinika, now you know I like you. The first time I understood, but this time I feel like it's justified because I don't see any connections here for you. Randall is all about Jamala. LJ is probably with that ex. So who else is left? Plus, he hasn't even said anything yet. You got to hear him out to get pissed. So he continues to try to say something. Now, don't get me wrong. These men have been playing her. But at the same time, we can't go off the deep end when we don't get the desired result. That is the show. Anybody can go at any time. Back with Kayla, she's trying to get him to choose her. I don't know what's going on. Back over with Randall, he tells Trinika she's not ready to love. She's like, okay. I lost a lot of respect for a lot of people. He's like, what? What's going on? So he acting all confused, child. Namely you. Okay, she's talking about you. Why would y'all eliminate Trinika when you had a connection and was sitting at the table crying? Okay, so I see why she's pissed, but then Kayla is still ready to love when they're just using her? Like, this is crazy, honey. This has production written all over it. She feels like Randall should have fought for her. And I can understand that. But if I'm at the bottom that many times, it shows me that my man isn't here. Trinika, you are a nice lady. Don't be mad, honey. Be grateful. Because these men are not it. And even if you did get chosen by one of them, by the time the reunion came, they would not be ready to love. So then Mike tells Kayla she's sticking around, honey, so he could play with her a little bit more. And that was the end of the episode. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly how you felt about this episode. Kayla, get out. Get out now, honey. You're coming back, but to what? To Randall giving you to run around in his shorts because he been with Jamala all day talking about olive juice? Are you coming back to Mike and his tank tops and his sideburns? What are you coming back to? Girl, let it go, honey. Like Elsa said on Frozen, honey, let it go. Let it go. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.